The governor of Abia State, Ikpeazu, had earlier today, being Wednesday, the 30th day of November 2022, granted his assent to the bill which guarantees the right of females, their persons, to inherit and own property in their father's family. The bill, therefore, becomes a law within the territory and the governance of Abia State. Abia State House of Assemblies had passed the bill some weeks ago to bring Abia State, according to them and their claim, in conformity with international best practices in the area and eliminating all forms of discrimination against women. This is what they heard, and they said it is a discrimination. Recall that a few weeks ago, this is what the Abia State House of Assembly enacted into a bill aligning Abia State, according to them, with global practices as well as, they said, best practices, eradicating all forms of injustices against women. Ikpeazu stated that his administration would always err on the side of reason and common sense in carrying out its duties to the residents of Abia State, stressing that it has become outmoded to continue to threaten women as second-class citizens in as well as even within their own families. The Speaker-led State Assembly, under the leadership of which this bill was passed, was thanked by the governor for mustering the courage to do so. The governor praises the legislation as historic, positively disruptive, and capable of putting our society on the path of equal opportunity and sustainable development. The governor is adamant that this is the State House of Assembly's most significant piece of legislation. He praised the Abia women for their accomplishments and assured them of the state government's continuous support. The full title of the law is "A Law to Provide for the Right of Female Person to Inherit and Own Property and for Other Matters Connected Therewith." And it is correct citation is the Female Person Right of Inheritance of Property Law 2022. As a result, Abia State is now one of the first states in Nigeria to fully implement this law. The ceremony was seen by the Assembly's Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Engineer Chinedum Oji, the State House of Assembly's Permanent Secretary / Clerk, Sir John Pedro Irokansi, PhD, the Secretary to Government, Barrister Chris Ezem, and the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Chief Oke Ahiwe. This is what they outlined. This is what they stated. The Governor of Abia State, he said he has enacted this and he is going to implement it, enforce it into law. The question is, there are 1,001 things that the governor of Abia State, Ikpeazu, can work towards, try to improve, to bring about, as he claimed, international standard and practices in Nigeria, other than trying to change the culture of Igbo people. What is one of these things he could do, or some of these things he could work towards in order to bring about the best international practices and standard? Let's look into the health sector. In Abia State, the health sector is not functioning. Abia State is one of the richest countries in Nigeria because they has a lot of resources. But day in, day out, you'll not see this reflection of these resources turning it into something meaningful in Abia State. Not at all. So health in Abia State is zero. Did you recall the time when the governor of Abia State says that he is proud to give pregnant women, those who delivered in the state's hospital, 500 naira after delivery? When he was asked why, are you proud to say this before the war? He said yes, because they are poor people, that if they see 500 naira, that they will be happy. Is there anyone giving 500 naira? That is only him, the governor. The health state in Abia State is zero. If you talk about education, is zero. No road. There is no electricity. We can continue counting till tomorrow. No water. Have you gone to area of recent and see what is going on? Now you talk about area of productivity. Let's look into agriculture. Abia State is not doing well agri-wise because there is no fund coming from the government to support them. There is nothing good to write home about Abia State. And here is the governor of Abia State claiming of implementing a best and international standard and practices in Abia State, thereby saying that women have to inherit the properties of their forefathers, of their fathers. Well, let's look at it from the other way around. If it were a property that a father purchased, for example, some plots of land, building, maybe the man built it by himself, he could as well say, okay, this my daughter, go and take this particular plot, I give it to you. This my daughter, Ada, go and take that building, that property, I give it to you. Fine and understandable, it's okay. But if it is a right of inheritance that has come from the lineage, forefathers to great-grandfathers to the fathers, this inheritance, or should I say this process of inheritance, is what the culture call and regard as that women will not, okay, what if they marry tomorrow to a different state? Somebody from Abia State marries somebody from Delta. The lady got married in Delta. So you are telling me that she is coming back to his land, his compound in Abia State, to be dragging the inheritance of the great-grandfathers with the brothers. Well, if you tell me that for a man who doesn't have a male child, well, we can start thinking about that. But then, in all, I'm seeing what Ikpeazu did here as a man who doesn't have vision, who doesn't have anything to offer, a man who cannot bring about a civilized society. Go to Abia State and see what is going on. There is no road. Sometimes I continue, when I'm discussing with our people, I continue asking them, go to other countries, health is free, you know. And it is only in Nigeria, or should I say some part of Africa, that a president, a governor, during campaign will be telling you, yes, I will construct road for you. I will try and bring pole for you, because when you say electric pole, because there is no electricity, a governor cannot promise to bring electricity because he cannot offer it. So what they used to promise to the people, to the communities, I will bring pole for you. No road, no electricity, no water. And if you try to juxtapose this, compare it with a growing economy, a growing community, a growing state that says and claims to have a best practice of international standard. So you are telling me in some European countries that somebody who wants to become a governor of a state will use construction of road as a campaign strategy. We use provision of pipe and water as a campaign strategy. We use erection of electric pole without electricity as a campaign strategy. This man said that he is borrowing some international standard from Europe and he wants to bring it to Abia State, to Nigeria. Ask yourself, is it the only thing that he can bring from Europe? There are so many other good things. You talk about productivity. You could talk about education. When I mean education, I mean about practicality in education. Not all about this theory that Nigeria is practicing. He has never seen any other meaningful thing that he will borrow in order to bring about development. In Abia State, it's only to sign into law that females will have to inherit the property, share in the inheritance of the property of their fathers. Do you think the culture of Igbo people will allow this? Even here they say they got it from the Bible. Is that how it's being done in the Bible? No, the answer is no. So, Ikpeazu, our people, you have to look into this. I don't think this will stand, even though he claimed to have signed it into law. This is not the first time they are claiming to sign things into law that they didn't hold. And these are the things that is happening. Somebody who doesn't have vision, we claim and ascend a seat and claim to be the leader, the governor. He continued plunging the masses into poverty. He's leading them to nowhere. Among every other thing Ikpeazu could have done for Abia people to go and develop cemetery market, develop your home, develop area, as in try to see how he can contribute to industrialize Abia, nothing. He is coming to see how he can award inheritance to the female child in Abia State and call it international best practices. Imagine. Just like what I'm going through today, you see the UN, every now and then they continue saying how they value self-determination, how every indigenous people should go their way. These are the things that UN continues saying when they talk about self-determination. First, Article 3, indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. This is encoded in the UN chapter. But at this particular moment, you ask yourself, what is going on in Biafra? Does it mean that UN is not seeing it? Does it mean that all these European countries and America, they are not seeing it? Why are they keeping adamant? This is the nature of humanity. They don't want you to remove food from their table. They don't care how they are getting the food. This is what I'm saying UN is doing here. Every now and then, they will come to defend this Article 3. In various other states, they are doing the same. They are granting them their self-determination. They are airing their own voice and support to them. Some countries till today are being free. They are getting their own independence. But in Biafra, UN is not saying anything. Look at the issue they say they ordered, they released as regards to the arbitrary detention issue in their opinion on FreeNnamdiKanu. No, they've not said anything. Although they gave 6 months. But apart from that, we know Nigeria is working with UK. What is United States doing? Nothing. Of course, France is there, making Africa. They will not do anything. All other countries are busy watching. Did you recall the words of FreeNnamdiKanu that no country will come for the aid of Biafra? It is us and us alone. We have to struggle it out. And that is what we are doing. But this comment of the Article 3 is questionable because every time UN continue quoting it. But what have you done? The issue of Biafra is across the globe. Everybody knows it. But UN is saying nothing. Germany, nothing. Of course, Germany is already in Nigeria. They are part of the problem in Nigeria because they have Julius Berger. They are constructing roads. Do you know that in Nigeria, after constructing road for Nigeria, Nigeria do not pay Germany with cash. They allow Germany to drill the amount, the quantity of oil they want to drill to compensate them. In fact, that is what is going on. If after construction of roads, maybe it's worth 2 billion naira or $2 billion, Germany will go and drill oil, even though it is oil of 50 billion. They don't care. Who do they count for? This is the type of activities that they are running in Nigeria. And now, in such case, you will tell Germany to say, it's enough. When? Where? How does it happen? It will not. Sometimes you say over there they know how to do things in a best way. What do you mean by best way? But this is happening. All of them are looking for a way to extract from Africa, from Biafra land, and that is why they cannot support. So UN and your quotation, whatever you do, just know that we know where you guys are heading to, and that is why we are doing our best, but we must continue doing it. We thank you for listening, wonderful people. Of course, we say that we are Biafrans, and it is in Biafra land that all of us have our citizenship, and until Biafra is fully restored, we will not rest. May you remain safe and blessed wherever you may be.